John Terry De Ligt hybrid, or a Poundland Tyrone Mings? Just how good is Jarrad Branthwaite?
Branthwaite!
Despite being a centre-back, Branthwaite poses a notable goal threat primarily due to his quick reactions and physical attributes. Despite being 6'5", he's got these quick little movements inside the box. That agility allows him to capitalise on loose balls and rebounds during set pieces. He can quickly adjust, reposition himself for second chances, and it makes him a valuable asset during attacking corners and free kicks. And he's got that natural instinct for goal scoring, that smell for goal, and he's often in the right place at the right time to capitalise on goal scoring opportunities. Now, in terms of his accuracy from long range, it's limited. Most of his long shots go over the bar, they get blocked, they go wide. So he's not really a threat outside the box, so he's not really going to be a prolific goal scorer like a Ronald Koeman, but he's a reliable goal threat during set pieces and inside the box.
Some tidy footwork, but he was on his wrong foot. Hit it well, but he would have preferred it to be on his right.
Statistically, Branthwaite is a poor dribbler. He rarely attempts dribbles during a game, and when he does, he's got a low success rate of approximately 33%, and that indicates a lack of confidence and effectiveness in carrying the ball forward under pressure. He's 6'5", his dribbling is awkward, it's ungainly, and that height and build makes it challenging for him to move gracefully with the ball at his feet. And his dribbling's pretty one-dimensional. He frequently tries to shift onto his left foot and use his body to shield the ball, a bit similar to a Tyrone Mings but with even less precision, and that predictability makes it easier for defenders to anticipate and counter his movements. When he dribbles near the touchline, he's got a lack of technical skill, which is very apparent. He doesn't have that high degree of ball control or composure. It's pretty basic, and he doesn't really perform any skillful maneuvers or evade pressure effectively. And under intense pressure, particularly when near his own goal, his lack of quick feet and dribbling ability is exposed. He often has to resort to passing backwards rather than attempting to comfortably dribble out of pressure, and that tendency can make him a target for high-pressing teams. However, Branthwaite is better when he has space to stride forward, and that situation is pretty rare in high-level matches. His dribbling is more composed, however, when he is in that more advanced position with less immediate pressure, but it's not a consistent feature of his game. Now, if you're like me and you're travelling quite a bit and you're trying to catch the Euros tournament but you're struggling to stream matches because they're geo-blocked in your location, well, that's when MyVPN Surfshark, and the sponsor of today's video, comes to the rescue. I can connect to a server in my home country and I'm cheering for my team as if I'm right there in the stadium, so no more missing out on those crucial penalty shootouts. Trust me, Surfshark VPN is a must-have for any sports fan. And for those people wondering, a VPN or virtual private network, it allows you to create a secure connection to another network over the internet, encrypts your data, and it hides your IP address, and it provides you with the privacy and the security that you're looking for. Now, another fantastic use case for VPN is ensuring your online privacy when you're using public Wi-Fi, like at the airport or sports stadiums. When you're at the airport waiting for your flight, you want to catch up on some work, check your bank account. Public Wi-Fi networks are notoriously insecure and your data can be vulnerable to hackers. Now, with Surfshark VPN, your connection's encrypted, it masks your IP address, it keeps your sensitive information safe from prying eyes. You can browse, shop, and work with the peace of mind knowing that your data is protected. So whether you want to watch your favorite sports events from anywhere in the world or ensure that your online privacy on public Wi-Fi, a VPN has got you covered. If you haven't tried Surfshark yet, now is the perfect time with the Euros tournament happening right now. Trust me, it's a game changer. So use the code Pythagoras, go to the link in the description to get 4 extra months free. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more tips and tricks. Stay safe out there. Branthwaite boasts an impressive aerial duel success rate of around 60.8%, and that reflects his effectiveness in contests for the ball. He's got that height, 6'5", physicality, and that enables him to dominate most aerial battles defensively and offensively. Now, his height and courage make him a significant threat on goal during set pieces. He's very good at flick-ons, competing at the far post, and he's got that ability to put himself in positions where he can capitalise on deliveries, and that adds an extra dimension to Everton's attacking play. And he's willing to throw himself into aerial challenges. He's got that bravery, commitment, and that trait is typical of a Sean Dyche centre-back, and it reflects a willingness to engage physically and put his body on the line. Now, in terms of his composure, in attacking and defensive scenarios. He's got that composure, he's got that innate sense of where the ball is likely to land, and that lets him make those timely runs and position himself effectively. If there is a slight weakness, it's that while he is strong in the air, he can struggle against very fast and agile power forwards, particularly when the ball bounces before he's had a chance to win the ball. His ability or his response time after contesting that type of aerial duel is not particularly quick, which can leave him vulnerable if he loses the initial header or if the ball lands awkwardly. In terms of his creativity or progression with his passing, he's not really renowned for it, doesn't really pass much into the final third, and his accuracy can be lacking. He tends to play it safe rather than consistently attempting ambitious forward passes. When he's got time on the ball, he does demonstrate decent vision. He can visualize attacking runs and attempt through balls into the channels. And that suggests that his understanding of offensive movements is solid, but at times the execution can be inconsistent. I think the primary issue is that the weight and the accuracy of the passes, sometimes he can weight them pretty well, and he ensures that they reach the intended target, but the skill, I wouldn't say it's of an elite standard. Still too many errors, at times underhitting or overhitting his passes, not really anticipating the fact that it's going to get intercepted. So slight lack of IQ in that sense. And I think he's overestimating his passing abilities, and that's the reason why this overambition leads to turnovers and lost possession. He does have potential hitting through balls down, particularly the left channel, utilising his left foot to find runners. And I think that type of pass is useful when you're playing a direct counter-attacking system where forward runs are going to be made into the channels, but it's less effective in a possession-based style where the defender is expected to show more patience and restraint and more precision in trying to break down compact defenses. I think compared to, say, someone like Lisandro Martinez, his technique it's less sophisticated, it's less reliable. He lacks the composure and technical skill to consistently break lines with his passing. And I think it's more aligned to a traditional physical style of play than a possession-orientated system. In terms of Branthwaite's role in the build-up, well, his pass volume is pretty low, and it's typical for a centre-back in a Sean Dyche team which favours a more direct style of play, and that makes it somewhat harsh to criticise his pass volume without considering the context of his team's tactical approach. Similarly, his pass accuracy stands at 84%, which is much lower than an elite centre-back, but again, he's playing in a system which emphasises long balls and direct play. Now, when it comes to playing under pressure, I don't think he displays elite level comfort. He tends to panic when pressed heavily, often resorting to clear the ball hastily, rather than maintaining composure and looking for that accurate short pass, and he's often leading to lost possession. Similarly, he struggles to protect the ball when confronted by an aggressive press, doesn't really utilise his body effectively to shield the ball, and that leads to him losing possession. I think his short passes at times are often awkward and poorly weighted. They lack that precision and pace to effectively move the ball through midfield and into attack. And when he does try and be a bit more cultured, he's prone to errors leading to interceptions and turnovers. And I think those type of mistakes would be really costly at higher levels of competition.
Down through the years under Chris Wilder, we wondered if it would become a 4 today. We wondered if Vinny Souza might drop into the back.
In terms of his general approach to defending, Branthwaite prefers a physical, aggressive style of defending. He often goes to ground to make tackles, relying on his physicality to win the ball. And I think this approach is pretty effective when he's higher up the pitch or in the channels where more robust defending is required. I think one of his vulnerabilities, however, especially in 1v1 situations, is his susceptibility to getting nutmegged. Due to his height and slightly cumbersome movement, he can be caught often with his legs apart, allowing quicker, more agile attackers to exploit this gap. Now, while he is capable of making well-timed slide tackles, his decision-making can at times be rash. He tends to dive into tackles which can be risky if not executed perfectly. I think his anticipation of the ball's movement is generally good, but quick changes of direction by attackers can leave him looking off balance and outmaneuvered. I think he's relatively quick over long distances, a bit like a Mickey van der Ven, obviously not as quick, but that style of defender where he's quite athletic, and that allows him to recover in open play, but I don't think his turning speed and agility is that strong. Against top tier attackers, I think his deficiencies become more apparent, We've seen him get nutmegged by Cole Palmer. We've seen players like Erling Haaland, who are not really renowned for their dribbling finesse, manage to leave him sort of behind on the ground due to their speed, their physicality. And I think that raises concerns about his ability to handle world-class forwards who combine skill, speed and agility.
You served to the top for 21 minutes on the final day.
In terms of his defensive involvement and positional play, Branthwaite completes a high number of defensive actions per game, and that shows he's a very active participant in Everton's defensive efforts. His dual success rate of 76% is exceptionally high. Now, he's proficient at blocking crosses, shots. He's very good at using his positioning to intercept crosses and disrupt opposition attacks. And I think that ability to anticipate and react to threats is what makes him quite a reliable defensive presence, especially within a low block structure. He's got good solid positional awareness for a young defender, knows where danger is likely to arise, and he positions himself generally well. He's got good spatial awareness. But I think obviously playing in a setup like Everton's, Branthwaite benefits from a structured defensive setup, and it's all about positioning, organisation, which makes it a lot more easier for defenders to anticipate and react to threats as they're operating within a smaller confine in terms of space. Nevertheless, his recovery defending is commendable. He's good at covering space behind the defensive line, and he acts as a pretty effective defensive sweeper. His pace allows him to recover quickly and cover for his teammates.
Branthwaite with a long ball wide anticipation.
Branthwaite's long pass accuracy is notably poor, with only around 50% of his passes reaching the intended targets. Now, playing under Dyche at Everton, he is tasked with clearing the ball long, and that tactical approach will of course affect his long pass accuracy, as many of these passes are made under pressure, with the primary aim of relieving defensive pressure rather than picking out a precise target. Now, while he is left-footed, he's not really aesthetically pleasing. His long passes lack finesse, hits the ball with power rather than precision, and it results in awkward, difficult to control balls for his teammates, and there's a lack of subtlety and beauty in his technique. His attempts to switch play or hit the ball long frequently result in turnovers, and at times they can even go out of play altogether. What I would say is there's slight potential in his ability to hit switches of play from left to right and whip balls down the channel. Now, these passes, when executed correctly, demonstrate that he can occasionally deliver effective long balls. However, these moments are too infrequent to rely on, and they need to be developed into consistent weapons. Tactically, Everton play in a 4-4-2, and whilst they're not renowned for their commitment to the high press, at times Dyche will take the game to opponents. So to be a defender in his setup, you've got to master the low block. You've got to be able to deal with high-line defending occasionally, as with so many losses of possession being part of their game due to their direct nature, you're going to get through a lot of defensive work, even when your side has established territory. Now, in terms of how he'd fit in at United, well, he's left-footed, he's a left centre-back, so I don't see how he's going to be a good partner to Lisandro Martinez when they're kind of going to get in each other's way. They play the same role. And if he was brought in as cover, well, why are you going to spend that much money when resources are tight to bring in cover, especially if that player is a totally different tactical profile? I think he would make United more of a threat from set pieces, help them defend better from set pieces. He could also potentially even make them better in a high line than someone like Harry Maguire due to his additional pace. But for me, the big issue, the elephant in the room, is that outside of that Lisandro problem in terms of tactical profile, his ball playing skills leave a lot to be desired. I don't think he's got the possession comfort to feature for an elite side.
He's early 40s at the time, ran across the pitch.
In conclusion, Branthwaite means Brexit, a player who simply lacks the cultured ball play to feature for an elite outfit. Now, you might argue, what about Gabriel for Arsenal? He's not the most sexy player with the ball at his feet. He can be prone to brain farts with the ball, especially in big games, and arguably overall more brawn than brain. But for me, he's still got solid fundamentals which put him above a Tyrone Mings level of defender. And Mings is a player I think gets underrated, to be honest, for the type of player he is, for the level of club that he plays for. He's a good enough player. It's just he's obviously never going to be world class. And I don't think Braithwaite is world class. But Gabriel is someone who might not be touching world class, but he's a Champions League level centre-back, and he wouldn't look out of place in the group stages or the early knockout stages of the tournament. For me, it was very telling that Gareth Southgate didn't even bother taking Braithwaite to the Euros. Now, considering how short we were in the centre-back department, I have to admit, like doing this analysis, I think Southgate was pretty justified in making that call, and a player like Guehi is a comfortably superior prospect at this moment in time. I think Braithwaite would need to infinitely improve his technical side of his game as well as his IQ in the build-up phase, get more courage as well to make it as a Europa level centre-back, let alone a Champions League centre-back. He's reminiscent of a Shawcross standard of centre-back in his current state. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share and subscribe, and see you guys again next time. Bye.